what is up guys, this is Alltech here, and a lot of questions are asked about this phone, the iPhone SE. Should you buy it? Is it still worth the price? Can it become the budget king of smartphones? Should you consider this phone in 2017 with that small screen? Let's find out. So let's start with the design. So this phone carries a very similar design signature to that of iPhone 5s, carrying that same rectangular boxy shape with the same aluminium and glass chassis all around, the same chamfered edges which are not so reflective this time, the same squarey flattened out edges for more grip, the aluminium and glass back on the back, and the only way you can differentiate it from a 5S is the new SE badge below the iPhone marking and the new rose gold color. So that's the way you can differentiate and say this is iPhone 5 SE. Talking about the front, it got the same bulky design, the same thick bezels, Touch ID on the bottom. The power button on this phone goes on the top, and there are those volume up and down clicky buttons that mute finger, and on the bottom you also get the same stuff except for one. So on the bottom you get a speaker, a USB lightning port, a microphone, and the exotic stuff, the headphone jack. May it rest in peace. So I think that this is one of the most beautiful design Apple has ever given to any of its iPhone, and it's one of the most handiest, most grippable phone you can have at this point of time. It's so small and it's so robust and so lightweight that you can fit it in any of your pocket without any kind of difficulty, and you can forget about it that you're even carrying your phone unless you want to use it or this phone calls out to you by ringing. Now, comparing it to bigger iPhones, just like iPhone 6s in this case, it doesn't get those seamless circular design which make it slipperier to use them, but it got the squarey, chamfered edges which makes it more comfortable to use. And also because of the small screen size, the reachability factor is the most advantage in this phone. You can reach all the corners of this phone without any kind of difficulty. And also, being of small size and being of small ratio, it feels very comfortable in your hand. You don't feel like that you're going to drop it or you're going to lose it easily unless you want to throw it to somebody. And as you can see, I can hold it, totally grab this phone in my palm of my hand, and that's kind of like giving me a confidence of holding something, unless those bigger screen smartphones. So this is one of the greatest design Apple has ever given. Talk about the specs running inside of this phone. So this phone carries an Apple A9 twister chip with 2 gigabytes of RAM, dual core processors clocked at 1.84 gigahertz. So it's a kind of beast in this small package size phone. So performance will be boosted up, new speed will be there, multitasking will be much smoother, more faster than before, switching between apps is more easy, and loading times are also less in comparison to previous iPhone versions. Also, if you talk about the gaming side, this phone won't disappoint there too. And also, if you upgrade this phone to next versions of iOS, you would not feel much of a speed lag or frizziness in this phone because of that huge RAM and great chipset. Talking about the battery of this phone, so this phone carries a 1642 milliamp hour of battery which can last up to a day with 15 to 20% of battery juice still remaining in it. So it's a kind of decent phone with decent battery and excellent form factor. So there would be no performance complaint from any of you guys, whether you're an avid user or an average user. Talking about the Touch ID on this phone, so that's a kind of disappointing thing. It's the same first gen Touch ID carried from iPhone 5s, so it's slow, but not so slow, but it's slow in comparison to iPhone 6s, iPhone 7, and iPhone 7 Plus. But you will live up to it. It's not so worst or so disappointing. Now let's talk about the camera of this phone. So this phone rocks a 12 megapixel with f2.2 aperture camera, similar to that of iPhone 6s. You can get more crispy, more sharp photos from this camera itself. Also, the new features added to this camera are the live photos. So now you can capture live photos and use them. Unless to activate them, you don't have any kind of 3D touch, but rather you have to long press the photos to activate the live photos feature. And also now you can record 4K video on this phone. So that's a great improvement in both the phone specs and the camera wise. I would think that Android should also make smartphones with this form factor, loaded with great specs and great optics. The only disappointing factor in the camera is the front facing camera. It's not for selfies. It's only 1.2 megapixel though, but it's decent, not so good. So, in the last, should you buy it? I would say that you should go if you're a person who've got small hands, or if you're a person who like phones with small form factors, or if you're a person who is switching from Android to Apple. This is the first phone that you should get your user experience of iOS to start with. And also, if you're the person who loves this design, this beautiful handiness, that grippiness, that cuteness of this phone, this is a phone for you. But can it become the budget king? Is it still worth the price? So, in the end, should you buy this phone? Yes, of course, why not? It's a great smartphone. It's packed with great specs, great optics, and of course, one of the most beautiful designs of Apple. But if you reconsider, can it become a budget king? I would say no, for now, because if you heard of the phone Moto G5 Plus, which is available for 17K in India and about 300 to 350 US dollars in the US, you got a great camera in that smartphone with stock Android on it. It gets the 1.7 aperture 12 megapixel of camera, which captures excellent low light imaging photos better than this one, and it also get a better improved selfie camera. So for timeline, for now, should you consider this phone? Yes, if you want a brand, if you want to test iOS platform, this is the phone for you. It's a great phone. It's loaded with specs. It won't disappoint you, especially in performance. You will not regret it in terms of speed, the integration of hardware and software, the smoothness is up to the mark. Believe me, I have used this phone for about 2 months now, and I'm not at all disappointed. But I can't you get used to this, this 4-inch smartphone. I would get used to it, but I use my present daily driver, the iPhone 6s. So do let me know thanks for watching. Do let me know your views in the comment section down below. What do you think of this phone and what do you think of this video? See you in the next one. Until then, peace.